Good afternoon, I'm Denise Tan and this is One News Now. Several barangays in Catarman, Northern Samar were flooded due to the non-stop rains brought by the shear line. In Barangay Lawang, authorities braved through raging floodwaters to rescue those who were trapped inside their homes. Over in Barangay Poblacion, some houses were already submerged. A few residents were also seen sitting on their roofs. In Barangay Nara, residents experienced up to waist-deep floods. As of 8 this morning, Pag-asa raised a heavy rainfall warning over Northern Samar and Sorsogon. This means severe flooding, especially in low-lying areas. President Bongbong Marcos secures $672 million in investment pledges from a 6-day working visit in the United States. The Presidential Communications Office says if the deals come to pass, $400 million will go to the telecommunications sector and $250 million to semiconductors and electronics. In his arrival speech, Marcos Jr. also announced that the Philippines will host the 2024 Indo-Pacific Business Forum. It will be attended by a high-level business delegation formed by U.S. President Joe Biden.
Altogether, we return to the Philippines with more or less $670 million in investment pledges that have the potential to create thousands of direct and indirect jobs for Filipinos within our country. We look forward to seeing more of these partnerships materialize in the months ahead, especially with the visit of the high-level U.S. Presidential Trade and Investment Mission in March.
Still on the president, he earlier said that the Philippines has broached the idea of a code of conduct to Malaysia and Vietnam in disputed waters. But this early, China is against it. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning acknowledged the importance of formulating a code among involved nations. However, she argues that any departure from existing agreement among parties in the South China Sea would be null and void. Mao Ning also insists that China's construction activities in the disputed waters are well within Beijing's sovereignty. She advises against criticizing it. Meanwhile, in an interview on The Big Story, Renato de Castro underscored the concept of comprehensive power in dealing with China's aggression in the West Philippine Sea. He also cautioned against dropping security alliances, particularly with the U.S., as these provide leverage to China.
Chinese only realize the essence of the most important currency in international relations, that is, of course, comprehensive power. Of course, that includes the military capability, the size of your economy, the national unity of the people. That's the only thing they understand. From the perspective of the Chinese, we could only earn the respect of the international community if we could show them comprehensive power. We show strength and power. So this is something that they would respect.
The National Security Council thumbs down a planned Christmas convoy to the BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin, Shoal. In a statement, the NSC cited heightened tensions between the Philippines and China at this time. However, the council said such activity can be undertaken in safer parts of the West Philippine Sea. These include Lawak Island, Pag-asa Island, Panata Island, and Rizal Reef. NSC's statement comes after the Atinto coalition confirmed a civilian-led Christmas convoy to the aging warship on December 5. Time to take a quick break. One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. Here's a quick look at the day's other global headlines. Israeli airstrikes target another hospital in Gaza, killing at least 12 Palestinians. The medical facility in Beit Lahia is being run by Indonesia and housed about 700 patients and staff. Meantime, the Israeli army claims to have discovered a weaponry lab under a mosque in Gaza City. Tel Aviv alleged that the factory was used to produce weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles. The videos released by the Israeli army were not independently verified. Argentine President-elect Javier Milei pledges economy shock therapy to address his country's ongoing crisis. Milei's victory in the presidential polls rolls the dice on an outside to fix an economy battered by triple-digit inflation, a looming recession, and rising poverty. The new president's plan include shutting the central bank, ditching the peso, and slashing spending. Pop star Shakira reaches a deal with prosecutors on her tax fraud case. She accepted the charges and will pay a fine of $8 million. The Colombian singer is also shelling out $472,000 in exchange for the waiving of her 3-year prison sentence. Recall that Spain accused Shakira of unpaid taxes worth about $15.8 million between the year 2012 and 2014. Back here at home, the LTFRB says 3 out of 4 demands of transport groups are doable in connection with the PUV modernization program. Among these are the extension of validity of a franchise from 1 year to 5 years and waiving the 1,000 peso confirmation fee for documents. The agency is also open to studying the franchising guidelines again. The request to scrap consolidation cannot be granted, but the LTFRB said it could simplify the process. It further clarified that there will be no jeepney phase-out so long as units pass the LTO's roadworthiness test. LTFRB and Transport Group Piston will continue their discussions today. Piston is on day 2 of its Tigil Pasada.
Inaasahan naman natin na yun naman talaga yung magiging reaksyon ng ating nasa pamahalaan, yung maliitin yung pagkilos ng ating mga driver at mga operator. Pero sa atin, sa bahagi po namin, nakita naman namin na halos umabot po tayo ng 95% na parealisasyon dito sa National Capital Region at sa iba't ibang mga probinsya.
Still on transport, prices of petroleum products are cheaper today, November 21. Diesel went down by 65 centavos and gasoline by 75 centavos per liter. Kerosene also decreased by 60 centavos a liter. Reasons for the price rollback include reduced prices in the world market and increased supply amid weakened demand. The Energy Department is projecting the downtrend to continue during trading over the next few days. Early Christmas shopping has begun over in Divisoria, but because of inflation, some merchants are selling at a loss just to accommodate their suki. Here's Laila Pangilinan to tell us more.
For the early Christmas shopper on a budget, Divisoria is still the place to be. Among shoppers taking advantage of the smaller crowd is Linda. She says she and her family came all the way from Valenzuela and took around half a day to get everything on their list. Linda says they do this every year to avoid the holiday rush and get the best bargains.
Mas nakakaluwag sa amin kasi pagdating ng Disyembre, mas lalong marami ang mamimili. Tsaka mura pa sa ngayon.
The difference this year, however, is that the same budget from last year is no longer enough to cover everything on their list.
Yung budget namin, hindi magkasya ang 5,000. Kaya kailangan may dala kang sobra para hindi ka nababalik.
It's not only customers grappling with the effects of inflation. Divisoria merchants are also giving up profit just to accommodate customers, much like Stephanie, who sells rubber sandals. She says she hasn't adjusted prices since last year, even though she purchased them at a much higher price this year.
Lumit ang kita. Kaya medyo, siyempre pag itaas mo rin, laylo na yung mga tao. Siyempre na mamahalan na sila. Puro tawan.
While some vendors have opted to adjust prices of their goods, there are still those willing to give discounts or haggle with their loyal customers.
Kasi may patong lang din kami, 3 piso, 2 piso, ganun lang. Okay na yun. Mabilisan lang. Para kaya ng mga bata kahit paano.
Vendors, though, have noticed a slump in sales this November compared to the same time last year, saying there is a big difference in Filipinos' purchasing power.
Kasi yung mga nakaraang taon naman medyo maganda-ganda. Ito lang taon na ito talaga. Sobrang tumal. Pero pag Saturday, Sunday, doon lang kami nakakabawi. Pagdating ng Monday to Friday, medyo laylo.
As the holiday season approaches, Divisoria merchants are still hopeful that sales will eventually pick up and more people will flock Metro Manila's bargain hub. For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
One News Now will be back at 3:15 p.m. Join us again later. I'm Denise Tan, and this is One News Now.